Find the idea. QXF6 plus works only if one defender is overloaded. What would you play? Now rewind. Garry Kasparov has white against Vladimir Kramnik in Novgorod. The point is not to memorize moves. Watch the candidate move, the obvious move, and the defender that cannot answer both. That is how the trap, mystery, and final tactics start to feel forced instead of random. First quiet clue. Quiet moves count when they improve the open file, block a defender, or prepare a forcing reply. This is the first real clue. Now for CXD4 is the next pressure test after 2. And C6. Second exchange, not just points. One guard leaves, and the bishop route around move 4 becomes easier to see. The previous checkpoint, 2. And C6. Changed the defender map before 4. CXD4. 4. CXD4 sets up the next question at 5. NXD4. Pause here, what changed after 4? CXD4? Third trade with a price tag. If the defender recaptures or ignores it, ask where the king can still breathe. The board is already drifting from 5. NXD4 toward 10. BXF6. Fourth visible prize, hidden access. After 10. BXF6, the loose defender is easier to use. Look back one checkpoint. 5. NXD4 made the position fragile enough for 10. BXF6. Fifth defender count changes. A safe-looking position turns into a trap when the forced reply has no spare helper. That is why 14. NXF6 plus is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 10. BXF6. Sixth collapse warning. The check forces a reply while the pawn shield stays weak. A quiet detail from 10. BXF6 is still hanging in the air when 14. NXF6 plus arrives. Seventh open door. Once that defender disappears, the piece route has fewer obstacles. 17. EXD5 sets up the next question at 22. KH8. Eighth quiet clue. Quiet moves count when they improve the trade choice, block a defender, or prepare a forcing reply. 17. EXD5 is the clue that makes 22. KH8 less random. The board is already drifting from 22. KH8 toward 28. HXG6. Ninth capture, defender removed. Material matters, but the real point is the queen access that opens after the capture. The previous checkpoint, 22. KH8, changed the defender map before 28. HXG6. This is the bridge to 29. RxH7 plus, where the defender has fewer choices. 10th tempo hit. A quiet defense would be nice, but this check makes the rook lift urgent. What does RxH7 plus reveal about the king's real cover? That is why 30. GXF7 plus is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 29. RxH7 plus. 11th king safety audit. If the reply damages the minor piece net, the next tactic gets easier. Look back one checkpoint. 29. RxH7 plus made the position fragile enough for 30. GXF7 plus. Now 30. KXH7 is the next pressure test after 30. GXF7 plus. Pause here, what changed after 30? GXF7 plus? 12th visible prize, hidden access. After 30, KXH7, the final corridor is easier to use. The move before this changed the board's job list, so 30, KXH7 has more force than it first appears. 13th defender count changes. A safe-looking position turns into a trap when the rook entry has no spare helper. The board is already drifting from 31. Fex 8 equals Q toward 31. Next 6. 14th greed warning. The capture looks local, but it changes the dark square cover near the king. This position already has stress in it. 31. Fex 8 equals Q supplied the first part. 15th check with a purpose. The king answers first, so the back rank room can decide the next move. BF5 plus spends a tempo for the king. Where does counterplay go? That is why 32. KG7 is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 32. BF5 plus. 16th pressure move. It makes a later tactic believable by improving the overload or limiting a reply. The previous checkpoint, 32. Bf5 plus, changed the defender map before 32, kg7. Now 33. Qg6 plus is the next pressure test after 32, kg7. Pause here, what changed after 32, kg7? 17th tempo hit. A quiet defense would be nice, but this check makes the tempo race urgent. Which defender cannot use its ideal square after Qg6 plus? 33. Qg6 plus sets up the next question at 33, kf8. The board gets less comfortable for the defender. The shelter crack is becoming harder to ignore after this move. Look back one checkpoint, 33. Qg6 plus made the position fragile enough for 33, kf8. 19th initiative in plain sight. The defender can move, block, or trade, but the piece route still needs an answer. This is the bridge to 34, q8, where the defender has fewer choices. Pause here. What changed after 34? Qxf6 plus? A small improvement can be a big warning. If the opponent treats the recapture problem as harmless, the next forcing move lands harder. A quiet detail from 34. Qxf6 plus is still hanging in the air when 34, q8 arrives. The threat is still partly hidden. That is why this move is dangerous. It improves the queen access before the tactic announces itself. That is the proof behind the finish. The lesson from Kasparov-Kramnik queen move wins is concrete. A tactic works when the earlier moves already changed the defender map. Replay the My Chess Coach lesson, solve the puzzles, and ask this before moving. What is the candidate move, which defender has two jobs, and what square proves it? Then replay the critical position once more and name the first clue before the punchline. That question turns a flashy finish into a pattern you can use in your own games.